Alright, it's part 3 of this mostly fresh start, Cold Spellbreaker. We're leveling Shadow Strike, Spectral Longswords. Last time we managed to get up to Star Pact here. When we get to Honored with Devil's Crossing, that'll give us access to a quest that lets us get a really good amulet. And when Freeze Resist isn't terrible, we might want to go into the Steps of Torment. For now, we're going to use the Gale Slice Metal. Alright, in any event, let's do one quick run, see if we get a Spectral Longsword or not. I don't know what the level cap in this cave is. It might not be high enough to matter. This isn't usually something I'm farming on normal, except to get a character up and going. These mobs actually do scale up. That's kind of nice, and good to know for farming Spectral Longswords and such on normal. Frostborn of Thunder is... You know, here's the thing, though. It's way more flat. More flat fizz, which gets converted. More flat cold. And, yeah, it's better cold, it's basically comparable cold percent. So yeah, that's it's a little messed up, but this might actually end up being a DPS increase. Wow. G2, yeah, Cold Spellbreaker. Yeah, so the other thing we're doing, I want to make sure I'm not accidentally using Aether Crystals from my stash. We're going to do a quick Warden Crystal run. Alright, so we will put a cold stone on this as well. Yeah, let me just make sure we have... Yeah, I got 15 of these. We're fine. And it does seem like it pulls from the character stash before the shared stash, which is exactly what we want. Good day, welcome in, Viley. Okay, yeah, so we're going to do all the DLC on normal. That's just kind of generally what you do on a fresh start.
Have you found any supplies?
Okay. Welcome in, Slick. I feel like if you're doing a fresh start, it makes sense to get as many of the Aether Crystals as you can. Yeah, okay, we got another Aether Cluster, which is a good panic button. Mammoth is great for farming these things. Another one, very good. Alright, Mammoth resistance. So we might not get to respect it and get the Black Iron Docks quest. If you have a faction mandate and get accelerated XP, you'll absolutely get there, but we're still going to drop this portal there just in case, because in the event that we do have enough rep, it's easy to come back and deal with the mobs then. A Witch Hunter's Rylock mark. I mean, Witch Hunters is has good, useful stats in addition to whatever it gives Nightblade and Occultist, because I feel like you probably don't go Conjurer. And maybe you just ignore the savagery and play something Vit. I mean, those are some pretty nice skills if you're playing an Acid Nightblade, but oh, it's the Primal Strike one. Sorry. Yeah, because usually you're using that on like a Rockgeist or some other build that's trying to cobble together Vit Primal Strike. And it's basic. It has Vit affinity as an item as well, right? $22.42. There's a Vit Witch Hunter build in the season, but that's not helpful if you're playing vanilla. And maybe there's something with Phantasmal Blades. I'd have to think about it.
So this is what the Imperial reports indicated the main entrance to the flesh.
All right. Talk to Ivanda. $250.
Good work out there. You can be sure. Good on you. I believe it.
Captain Walker tells I'm planning a new push against the Ethereals, but my people are not.
Yeah, we need more to get the Respected to be able to do Black Iron Dock. So unfortunately, for now, we can't. Yeah, you can do Vit Primal Strike Conjurer. It's been a while since I've actually seriously looked at trying to do a Vit Primal Strike. So I'm not sure what people normally do. I feel like, to me, Ritualist seems like it should be better, but maybe Conjurer is tankier. Yeah, some weird sigil builds possible too. So typically the reason we go here is to fight the council, but we don't have the rep to do that, so that's out. So yeah, eventually we want Blade Spirits, so we do want to keep pushing the Nightblade Mastery, but we also have skills that we want to be investing points into. So we're kind of a little bit at a crossroads here. So we can actually also increase our DPS by putting some more points in Shadow Strike and also Dual Blades. I think we'll soft cap Dual Blades, which will be good for now. Arcanist we're going to want to put more in Star Pact, but there's so much we want to put more in at this point. I'll put one more point in Star Pact, and we will push to 32. Which gives us Elemental Awakening and Merciless Repertoire. At some point, even though we're mostly Shadow Striking, it's good to have some weapon pool skills with our in-between auto attack.
To think that you can enter my kingdom and topple my greatest creation.
But we're getting everything a little bit slower with the whole no Lokar, no XP pots, fresh start thing, so... we'll get there eventually. Alright, so now we are going to be respected and get to do the Black Iron Docks if we want to. Mammoth resistance afterwards. It's a decent chunk of XP and rep, so we probably should, even though it means not having the portal. We also have a devotion point to spend. Yeah, let's get more damage for now. Theoden can hurt a little bit.
Arrogance will be your end.
Mostly just want to avoid his attack where he jumps up and lands on you. Also, this can be a little unpleasant, but... 'cause this attack will sunder you as well. His weapon has its own default attack replacer, so if you wanted to play an Aether, Spellbreaker, or Oppressor, I think are the most common ones. This is a pretty good weapon, and Aether Fire, if the Aether is like okay. It's not amazing.
preparing to make. I'm talking about the Black Iron Dog.
Can't afford.
Alright, we're just going to keep pushing in Nightblade at the moment. So it'll give us some stats and HP at least. And now since we don't have the portal, since we had to place it elsewhere to get to the Black Iron Docks, we have to sort of backtrack. And once we do that, we're going to do some Forgotten Gods and also do some of the quests in Ugdenbog as well to get reputation with those factions. Barahome and Coven, respectively. That sounds potentially interesting. I know, I think Morndale and Rainen have both done some stuff with Vit Shadowstrike, or at least Vit Witch Hunter, so might be worth pinging them or asking them if they come in here. All right, so we'll turn this in.
Was the mission? I always knew it. For now.
Alright, so one nice thing about Forgotten Gods is that there are a lot of shrines. We don't get a ton of XP for Forgotten Gods quests on normal, but there are a bunch of shrines, and the mobs that we have to kill, a lot of them are in these areas, these temple areas. Alright, so we might be taking the long way back around because I saw a quest marker. Our energy has also been yo-yoing a little bit, so we are going to put points in this Arcanist passive, which gives us Spirit and OA. Mental Alacrity does give more energy and reduced energy cost, which is good, but it also gives us cast speed, which is kind of useless. And Phantasmal Armor, so we put more points in this, it'll give us Energy Leech Retaliation. So that'll help as well. Okay, so we've 15 out of 15. And now... oh, it's another pack of them. Okay, that shrine's done. We don't have to fight the boss here. So we're just going to move on. Alright, so that's one more constellation complete. We'll work on finishing Behemoth and Rumor as well. We haven't killed many mobs here, so we still have virtually no rep the Witch God factions. Actually, killing some of these beasts will help us with Coven and Homestead and Barrowhelm as well, so that's sort of worth keeping in mind. Alright, so this is the second area where there are mobs that we need to kill. These pack hounds are sort of interspersed with these vipers. So we'll at least get the rift gate here, and then we will go back and get the pack hounds done. Alright, that's 15. So this area has two shrines. There's one sort of up northwest, and there's also one in a temple area. Click the totem. Since we are on a sort of kind of fresh start, the actually getting more iron bits and picking up some greens to sell is something that we should do. Usually on an established account, it's kind of inefficient to pick up too many greens, but if you're starting out, every little bit of extra iron can help you. If we're going to town too often, we'll stop and we'll kind of wait until we can do totems and elite and ultimate, which are going to have better returns, but I'm going to drop a portal here and get the next rift gate. The reason being that I want to do the shrine in the temple area. And I don't care about this quest. We're really just here for the shrine. Free dynamite. And we can actually turn in our first druid quest. The second one is one of those go murder somebody quests. It's nice and easy.
The thread is spun, the weave of our destinies unfold. Korvax wounds weep in terror of our actions. Indeed. Before we can...
Alright. So now we finish Murmur. That's going to give us some more cold and frostburn damage. We'll be finishing Behemoth in a moment. So in this area, there's also the dead body of an inventor's apprentice. And he's carrying a book. Recovering the book will unlock the ability to transmute pieces of a set into a different piece of the same set. There's also a transmuted piece from a set into another random set, but you're pretty much never going to use that. Alright, so the place we have to go to kill this traitor is to the left of the Sunbane Oasis Rift. I think there's also a shrine here. So this is a very interesting chest piece. Gives us poison and elemental res. It's an armor upgrade, percent cold damage. And also +3 to lethal assault, which is a buff that applies if you use Amarasta's Blade Burst, which gives additional damage. I don't think we want it over a Murderer's Breastplate, but it's at least interesting.
Greetings, see.
It pains me to call for the execution of one of our own. The fool was blind to the true vision of the Great Guardian, and has paid the price. Draelus has sensed the true name. You must hurry to the Oracle.
Come see what's left of my wares. Iron well spent.
Alright, so we have a bit more iron. Continue to put away components.
Got something you need stashed? Keep an eye out.
There's no real reason to fight this boss, but he's here. Alright, so we have to go kill some enemy boss. And once we do that, we can move on to the final part of Forgotten Gods. So right now we are not honored with anybody, and we're going to lose when we go into Elite 25% of our resists off the top row. In addition, everything's going to hit harder, so ideally we want to shore up the Aether Chaos Res if we can. We may not be able to. So we might have to do some gear farming. You can do Elite without full resist if you really want to, but I tend to prefer to just build a bit more conservatively and be a bit more cautious when possible.
Yes, traveler? What might I...
The camp, the primordial
So we don't actually have to go here. This is me kind of on autopilot since I almost always side with Bismiel or Soleil. But in this temple are 3 bosses, and if you're trying to get reputation with Witch God factions, being able to kill 3 pretty quick to get to bosses in rapid succession is kind of nice. So it's still not a terrible use of your time. And it does take us right out to the Rift Gate. We are going to drop a portal here and head north to get the Rift Gate we need. And now we can double back. And this tomb has another shrine. Now there is a quest. It doesn't give you anything except a little bit of rep on normal to fight a boss called the Messenger. We're not going to bother with that. But if you did want to do the quest, it's down this path here.
so. He was when Dravis confronted.
Alright, so there is a shrine on the second level of this this sort of dungeon area. The boss, yeah, you see out here, has a tendency to drop volcanoes underneath us, which is kind of rude, so make sure we kill him. Even with good fire res, you don't want to be standing in volcanoes. There is a saying, stand in the fire, DPS higher. That saying is not something you should be taking to heart. Yes, if you are Mike Fick, you can do that. Dothman, give me a second. We get this shrine and get ready for Kaimon, and then I'll take a quick glance. I just got the generic Grim Tools link without a specific build, Dothman. Okay, so we are going to take a quick trip to... actually, we'll fight Kaimon first. We'll get the next portal, and then we'll do it.
It is too late.
Okay, so this is actually a boss that that kills some people. He has a jump attack and a belly burst that you kind of want to look out for. But we have Mirror, which makes us invincible, and he does his jump attack basically when you're not face tanking him. Evening, Susie. Welcome in. All right, let's check out what Doffman linked us. Witch Hunter, Balagor. Weapon attack damage looks good. Lifesteal looks adequate. Acid and poison modifiers fine. Poison duration is good. Health a little bit low. Resists fine. Okay, so, this is just wait. Okay, so you have Blade Spirits, which are Blade Spirits doing global? Do we have global conversion? Elemental to acid. Elemental to acid. Okay, so we do have global conversion for that. At least for the elemental part, not for the pierce, as far as I can tell. Oh, it's also Voracious Yugal's Hunger. Okay, Balgor. Oh, Pierce to Blood of Dreeg, right, yeah. Okay, so you've got Blade Spirits. You have a bunch of points in Ring of Steel, but almost none in Circle of Slaughter. And ABV is kind of half-heartedly invested in. OA looks good. DA looks fine. Armor is like... I mean, it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, it also seems weird to play Ring of Steel MI without really going all in Ring of Steel, but I guess if you have other plans for your attack, it's okay. That's kind of the potential issue. And how's the mana cost of Voracious Reach? But yeah, I mean, it feels like a build with flaws that could still at least do some content, though. All right, now we can go back to Coven, Spirit Guide. No issue with mana. Okay, well that's good at least. Okay, so the situation we're in here is Revenant gives us 1 red affinity, but it requires 8. Our endgame devotions are going to have 8 red affinity. So we need to temporarily get some red affinity from somewhere else to take Revenant. So what we do is we get rid of this crossroads and this crossroads.
Farewell.
We temporarily take Jackal here. And now we can start putting points in Revenant. It's Energy Leech, Energy Absorbed from enemy spells, Health. It's going to give us Stun Res, Leech, Health, Attack Speed, and then this is a source of flat resist reduction. We were almost out of inventory space. So we're going to kill any gargoyle in here, because in an ideal world we'd get a gargoyle drop us a +1 to Nightblade belt. I'm not counting on it, but it's worth at least doing one full clear on a fresh start for purposes of this. We got the gargoyle girdle, which is the Oathkeeper, so that's not what we want. Bit Shadow Strike Witch Hunter looked awful vilely. Feel like that's hard to do. Like, I think doable, but there are probably a lot of pitfalls that result in it looking worse. Yeah, a lot of trade-offs, Viley. I think there's probably like one legitimate way to do it, and every other way has pitfalls. So this Ring of Flame can hurt, and as can these meteors he drops. His third phase has an invulnerability stage that also drops a different kind of meteor. Yeah, I tried Chaos Shadow Strike with a Conduit, and just Rosin is just better. Alright, he's invulnerable and he's dropping meteors. Stand back for a second. Congrats, Susie. Which Which boss is that? But yeah, anytime you beat an enemy for the first time, it's a great feeling. Lokar, big congrats then. That used to be kind of a small milestone. Lokar having Sunder and being a lot more dangerous now. That definitely takes a little bit of extra work. So great job. Yeah, didn't actually mean to talk to these guys. I don't care what they think. Yeah, Gargoyle Girdle is worthless. Resists aren't bad, but no. Okay, make sure. Yeah, this is a force wave item. We don't care. Okay. Make sure we're putting our components in the... normally, you put components and everything in a shared stash so that if you die, you keep your components. But since I'm trying to kind of segment these out for purposes of doing a semi-fresh start, I'm keeping my components in my personal stash. So yeah, there's a reason I'm doing it this way. Generally speaking, you should not do it this way. Did I just... Alright, quick reputation check. We're still a ways away from honored with anyone. Unfortunate. So, we will go back to Ugdenbog, though. And do some quests. Hopefully pick up a decent living ring or two. That'll help our resistances. In the meantime, we're also going to kill Janaxia. Got another Ugdenbloom. Typically, endgame, you want about 100 Ugdenblooms. So, Warped is terrible, but this is a Chill Strife, which is another cold weapon that you can use as a Cold Nightblade. It has also boost TSS, but the main thing is it has additional resist reduction to Veil of Shadow, which is pretty nice. This particular roll is horrible and we would never use it, but you can still sell it for gold or iron. Susie, that does work. Usually, I think metals are the most likely to have that. There is also, if you kill the Bourbon Clones boss, they drop something called Gazer Man, which I think is a chess piece that gives 20% extra XP. It's an absolutely horrible thing you'd never wear in combat, but you can absolutely put it on before turning in quests. And that does help a little bit. I don't think guns are that terrible. I think melee and casters are probably better overall, but there are plenty of at least reasonable gun builds. Okay, so we can't even do the next quest because we're not respected with Coven. But we can, however, we're going to go to the Ancient Grove. Two things are going to happen. One is Mugdrogan, different one from the one you can fight, is going to give us a skeleton key and ask us to go do the dungeon. We're just going to take the skeleton key and not do the dungeon because you can do that. And there's also a shrine on the first level of Ancient Grove, so we'll get the extra devotion point. Purifier with Desolator and Incendiary Cask. Can't say I have. Sorry, I misread. You're specifically talking about two-handed guns. I mean, yeah, what, you have Valdoon, which is kind of only okay. I mean, are we being pedantic if we talk about Harbinger set because it's technically a crossbow, but it is a two-handed ranged weapon? And Harbinger is historically a very high DPS build. Might be the only good two-handed ranged weapon I can think of off the top of my head, though, which kind of, I guess, goes to prove your point. I mean, you pair it with Ra's in and you do Touch of Chaos. And that's your main attack. You just happen to nuke people with the Doom Bolt every 5 seconds or so. Morndale, welcome in. Okay, so we have one Manticore Eye. Let's actually continue. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a couple more Manticore Eyes here. If I think we need 3 to craft the +1 Nightblade Relic. Yeah, I feel like some of the top 20 builds are definitely baits. And good evening as well, Rand, and welcome in. I mean, I feel like PoE is a little bit different. And maybe less forgiving of not doing something in a particular way. I think you probably can get away with a little bit more creativity in Grim Dawn. And there are more ways to build something. That guy doesn't want to drop me a Manticore Eye. Or we're not going to go into the dungeon area. I feel like that's not worth it. Yeah, especially in SR, even if you're playing on softcore, if you die, there's a very good chance you miss the timer. So, if you're doing SR runs, anything that causes your build to have an increased likelihood of dying past a certain point, even on softcore, is going to gut the efficiency. And I mean, Crucible speedrunning, if you die, you're just basically, you're done, and you get nothing for it. Hang on. Any living ring drops? Creeping ring, nope. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If hardcore versus softcore is going to determine what is a good build, and like even on softcore, reliability is going to matter, because peak damage is great, but if you're not reliably getting that peak damage because your character's getting killed, then it's not as optimal. I mean, it's Still, I mean, 2.5 million crit on a build is very, very solid. So I'm not going to dismiss that. Get clearly good damage. Consecrated of attack, I mean, it's a vine ring. Right, Silvaria. Aggressive Living Ring of Arcane Balance. Let's take a look at this. Vit Elemental Bleed Res. I think that's... Alright, let's take a look at this quickly. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with any claims about SR timers or anything like that, provided there's also a success rate or deaths per attempt or something like that. So if you're saying, hey, my goal is I want to do an SR run as fast as humanly possible, and I realize it might take 10 attempts to get it, that's completely valid, but anyone who's looking at your build should know that you failed 9 out of 10 times. As long as that's disclosed, there's really no problem. But a lot of times it isn't, and that's kind of where a lot of people have issues. Okay, my Pierce Res is fine. My Chaos Res is not. So losing Chaos Res here isn't great for me. God, I hate doing this, but... Do we put an Imbued Silver on one of these Spectral Longswords? It's a massive DPS loss, but we might have to. Or, what's our leech now? It's 11%, so losing the 5% here kind of hurts as well. Alright, level 50, we could equip Roots of Primordial Rage, which gives us Chaos Res. We lose the Fizz Res and Stun Res, though. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, these are giving some Stun Res and OA. Like Plates of Valor are going to be Fizz, Pierce, Bleed. I mean, let's So we have one more devotion point, actually. So this is going to get more Vit Res and reduced stun duration. That's actually kind of huge. Next shrine is going to get us our leech back. So if we lose leech temporarily before we go to elite, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Alright, let's also check the Blood Grove vendor, see if he has anything good. So I kind of want to get to a point where we're reasonably survivable when we switch to elite. These need to be fixed. This is good. This kind of needs to be fixed. Shield of Alacrity. Alright. I'm going to vendor farm him quickly. We'll go back and forth for a little bit. Yeah, there are some. I do think it is fair to say that two-handed range is relatively disfavored for kind of auto attack or default attack replacer type stuff. Like you can play Harbinger as a auto attack build. Valdoon is honestly mediocre, I think, even with the cadence buffs and the buffs to Valdoon. Chill the Frostbite. Alright, that'll we'll be able to put that on at level 52. So we at least have a gear upgrade there. Let's actually go into Pine Barrens Jagged Waste area. I want to see if we get lucky with Manticore Eyes. So if we have 3, we can craft a +1 Nightblade. And if that doesn't work, then I might actually consider crafting Death Chill, just for more cold damage. If we do enough farming here, we might actually get honored with Homestead and be able to turn in the food quest. Okay, no Manticore Eye from Megara. There is a Manticore Elite here. We can see if the totem gives us one. Yeah, Manticore Eyes are often not fun to farm. And now that I think of it, my relic might actually be giving me elemental resistance, so I don't think we can even get rid of it. Yeah, we're stuck with this low-level relic for now until we get some more balanced resists elsewhere. Yeah, but I mean, if you come from PoE and you expect the meta to be the same in a completely different game, that's kind of on you. Yeah, there's a difference between a build being bad and a build not being the best possible build. They're not the same thing. Alright, we're gonna try again, try to get some living rings. Maybe do another Sylvaria run. So I also suspect that Path of Exile, there might be... You might get a bit closer to just objectively what the best builds are, because the challenge of doing very hard endgame content, the number of builds that can handle it are going to be few and far between. So builds that can even get you to the point of doing the stuff are better than builds that can't. Whereas, something like Grim Dawn, you could have people playing for what's the fastest Crucible time, regardless of how often I die, versus what's reliable and can get everything done nicely and doesn't die. Like, there's not an objective list in Grim Dawn because the Grim Dawn community and the people who create those lists have different objectives. That's another fair point off, man. Any game with a server You actually have to get the items, trade for them, farm currency to buy them, whatever, but you can't just download GD Stash and instantly have all the perfect gear you want with perfect rolls. Oh, Northern Worm is actually a pretty good weapon as well, though that might be more of a caster thing, which is a different criteria. A 100's better than 66, yeah, but 66 is still good. Lich's Vine Ring of Spines. Alright, let's I think if there's any easy shrines I'm missing. I guess we could do this shrine by Kilrian. So I get this character, ideally get some slightly better resists before we move on to Elite. skeleton gargantuans can be a little scary. Respect them. Alright, if there are no healers, hopefully... There we go. Yep. Okay, so now we get more health and a bunch of additional leech, which is huge for us. Yeah, I mean, Inquisitor does have a lot of support for ranged. So, I mean, by all means, don't play it if you don't like the class, but that is somewhat nerfing your options.
Look at some good news. Got something you need stashed?
Alright, we can also try Cronley and see if we can get a better Murderer's Breastplate with some decent resist, maybe. That might, and all of our gloves are pretty atrocious right now, but... Yeah, that's not going to get any better. But yeah, let's go fight Cronley and his gang, see if anyone wants to drop us a good breastplate. Homestead. I mean, if we really wanted to push the point, we could get honored with Homestead, which might actually not be a terrible idea. I mean, is it possible that you just don't like the weapon pool skill mechanic as a concept? Rhyme Frost Martin's Crest. Interesting. Ascended shoulder plates? No. You know, I've never actually really seen Quinn play PoE. I only see clips of him screaming. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, the thing is, if people find it entertaining, good for him. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going. Provided you're not doing something unethical, I'm not going to begrudge a person their success. Okay, Harmonious of Fortitude. Okay. I mean, I think they have to be hardcore gamer enough to. I mean, I guess it depends, but I feel like a lot of them are at least good enough at the game to not be frustrating to watch, but then you obviously have to add something else to it. All right.
Safe storage, no questions.
It's the all right, corpse dust. All right, let's throw this on. We still need a little help with elemental res, but our poison res is fixed. Our pierce res is fine. Yeah, chaos res not good. Hopefully we fix that by the end of Act 2, I guess. And yeah, this at least fixes. This will fix chaos res if we're really desperate for it. It's also an armor upgrade, so as much as the fizz res from stone rod are nice, I think we probably want to do something else. Our armor rating is already a lot. I mean, armor absorption we should do something about. Maybe we actually craft a scaled hide. I think we can afford that. Yeah, that's easy. And I think I'm going to keep the Dreeg pants for now, even though they are an armor loss. But like right now, we kind of need the chaos res. Scaled hide on. At least armor absorb goes to 84, which is a lot better than 76. It's still not ideal, but we're at least getting somewhere. We got 39 devotion points, so we're in reasonable shape. Yeah, Aether and Chaos Res are going to hurt a bit. We're going to have to be somewhat careful here going to Elite. But And actually, now that now that our leech is kind of fixed, I think we might be able to. Oh yeah, our Vit and Bleed are still way over. I think we take a Consecrated Wrappings instead of a Unholy Inscription.
Got something you need stashed?
Unholy Inscription is so good, but right now we need Chaos Res, so
I'll keep an eye out.
we also need better gloves. But you know, you can only take what drops. All right, so keep item. Hopefully we get better gloves. All right, so yeah. Resists are still not optimal, but this is as good as we're going to get for now. So I'm going to link a Grim Tools for the build at the end of normal. And we'll get started on Elite for a little bit, I think, before we sign off. We'll at least get some shrines that'll buff our character further. So yeah, we're starting on Elite, and as you can see, 68, 68, 80, 80. So yeah, not perfect, but I mean, it could be worse. If we really want to maybe take another point in Elemental Awakening, that gets us to 71. A couple more points in this will sort of fix our Elemental Res. So I think we're going to do that for the time being.
Too bad. The bodies that you will.
Alright, there's the Rift Gate. So let's get Faldus. Alright, we've got 15 Aether Shards. Thank you, clearing around Malmeth. So we're not going to have any issue in terms of early shrines. Yeah, on a fresh start, just actually kill and get all these Aether Crystals. Alright, attack and cast speed. Because it also supports Aether damage now under the new patch, but that's worthless for us.
The dead attack a creature with. I need some time.
Greetings.
Okay, level 50. I'll put one more point in Elemental Awakening and push 2 more in the Mastery bar. Like, our resists are starting to look, at least on Elemental, a little more respectable.
Welcome to Rift.
That's another skill point. Continue to push. We might as well do this quest now, get the shrine. What's up, Master Halls? Welcome in. We have 1 Slith Necklace. We need 2 more. The Slith Primal Ring on Elite is better than the one on Normal, so it'll help our resistances a little bit more. I was reading chat, didn't notice I was being sundered, but this isn't really that problematic of a boss. Finally got the last piece of Perdition. Very nice. Okay, so what do we put this on? Alright. I'm going to end up putting it on a weapon pool skill that we use as a, kind of intermezzo, but
Good, you're one of my. You follow the rule.
okay, and we're level 50, so once we hit level 51 and get something that we can actually put on our Revenant Devotion to make sure it's leveling, then we will swap in the Chaos Boots. I'll take the Fizz Res loss to boost my armor, also get Chaos Res and Elemental damage. Yeah, bleeding resist is fine, so we're not really worried about trading out the Stone Rock Groundbreakers. When will we see a two-handed gun ranged? Probably never from me. I mean, never say never, but Nightblade is kind of my favorite, so if I'm going to do a fresh start, it's going to be something that I really enjoy playing. Rect has done some more interesting and diverse fresh start videos. But I kind of feel like I know what I'm mostly good at, and for me, that's Nightblade is kind of the specialty where I feel most comfortable talking about it. I do actually want to play Phantasmal Blades with the two-handed ranged MI at some point, but that wouldn't be as a fresh start. I do that with Lokar and everything, and have an endgame build planned. That one might be a little ways away though, because I have a couple of 94 to 100s that I need to finish, and a couple other things that I want to try because of the patch. But yeah, at some point, Vit PB will be a thing. Alright, Milton Hart somewhere. There he is. Get the Rift Gate. Kill this elite here. And then we'll get the Shrine. We're kind of closing in on Honored with Homestead. If we do enough to get there, we might go back to normal to just turn in the quest to deliver food to Devil's Crossing, because that'll give us a bunch of additional rep for both factions. And we don't have XP pots or anything that are going to run out on us, so there's no real reason not to do it. One more slip necklace. Ooh, Crescent Moon. This is, we're not going to use it, but this is a very nice item. All right. Alright, so we're going to take this crossroads, which will let us take out the points we have in Jackal. Alright, we got the next slip necklace. And it looks like Luther is going to be in the third and final spot. Yeah, that's another one that I want to play Rainin. Alright, we have 300k iron and 48 scrap, so let's see the I mean 8 scrap is expensive. And we get a shrine in here. Let's just fight the Shambler. Some of the stuff you kind of take for granted when speed leveling, if you're doing a fresh start, gives you a little bit of pause because you don't necessarily want to spend resources that aren't quite abundant for you yet. Plus, we'll kill a bunch of beasts and get more homestead rep. $9,400. Yeah, we're probably getting honored with homestead soon. Which also means weapon augments. In particular, homestead has a pierce and stun res augment that could be good for leveling. It'll get us closer to Devil's Crossing Honored, which will give us Aetherez ring augments, which are huge for us right now. So our Aetherez isn't great. Yeah, the class-specific affixes are absolutely brutal to get. Like, I don't want to say don't. I don't want to say give up, but at the same time, yeah, kind of. I would give up. That's one nice thing about the season mod is that you could. If you got a Templar's affix on some trashed metal, you could put it in something called an essence container and apply that affix to the MI that you actually want.
Oh, hello, traveler.
Yeah, it's the odds are not in one's favor there. These are like Aether enemies, so we probably want to be a little careful. I think Skater, you have enough choices for, like, Mythical Volcanum is actually pretty good for the skill point. So that it gives you, I want to say it's, Volcanum, I think it's Volcanic Stride, which makes it easier to max that. Like, you have less flexibility with resists and things like that, but it's a very solid option. 200 Gallus runs just to get a Harmonious Affix. Ouch. I mean, was that before or after they changed it so that he at least drops it every time? Because Gallus farming when he wasn't a guaranteed drop was absolutely terrible. After they changed it, of course. Okay. Well, I mean, so I can say it could be worse in that case. But yeah, check out the Volcanum or maybe some blues or other blues or purples that might fit into the Templar build. I think that might be better than trying to get the perfect mark of Harvul. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Rainen, is you farm Gallus enough times, you're probably going to get some pretty good rolls. Yeah, on the metal spot, like Mythical Volcanum, or like I said, I think there are some legendaries as well that work with a Skater Templar. I get why you want to go for the Harvul, but getting the right affixes on that might just be worse of an experience. Alright, so it's not worth it a lot, but we're still going to rescue Ulgrim here. I mean, Shieldbreaker of Attack is decent. That gives you something for Oathkeeper. It gives you a bunch of OA and probably... so whatever additional stats come from Shieldbreaker. Yeah, 3.8 KOA is good. Man, not having XP pots in Lokar makes all these quests feel so much less impactful in terms of getting you XP. All right, we'll do 1 point Whirling Death. We'll put this on Whirling Death, and then now we can So if we have a Mark of the Traveler, hopefully yes. Yes, we do. Alright, so that's going to fix our Chaos Res, which is key. We really needed that. Yeah, I mean it's fine G2. It's just, you know, I'm obviously used to a bit more speed. All right, we are also we no longer need Jackal here, so we'll refund all these. And so complete Spider. Take Hawk. And then we'll get Yugal. We should be good to go. Let's see. Yeah, Devotions. We're at 44 now. Level 52, we'll be able to upgrade our Spectral Longsword. Yeah, Morndale definitely fell asleep. That's alright, though. Vizra is down to 15. There's so much stuff to put points in, but so we'll get a little bit of fumble by one pointing this. And yeah, we need some gear upgrades, especially gloves. But only so much I can do. Yeah, I can't force myself to grind XP pots outside of the season. It's like one SSF run is one thing, but when you're starting basically a new account and getting the XP pots means every other character you level is going to have them, that ends up being pretty compelling. Fabric. I don't know. No real speculation from me on Fangs of Astrakarn. I've looked at some of the Grim Misadventures, but I'm sort of hoping to be at least a little bit surprised. I don't mind watching some gameplay here and there, but there's definitely things I want to experience the first time myself. Lots of enemies that are potentially doing Aether damage. we don't have great Aether Res, so... So, rep with Forgotten Gods without the mandates and merits is going to be a little bit of a nightmare, but I don't know if that makes doing Forgotten Gods on Elite worth it. I kind of think it doesn't. Okay, so I guess we have some plus the Circle of Slaughter, I think from the Cronley Ring. 23% chance fumble with a nice extra defensive layer for us. Alright, Hawk, offensive ability, crit, percent OA. That'll get us to 20, which we need for Ugal. Yeah, Krieg with 50% Aether Res. Not the best thing we can be doing here, but we're somewhat limited in options. more Aether Crystals, we'll grab all of these, because everyone helps. Yeah, definitely never enough, especially any sort of fresh start, because I'm not using any of the components from my stash. At least we have damage. Eastern Gloves, Vit Elemental Res. It is cold damage. Hang on. So, well, these are level 58, so we can't equip them yet anyway, but we lose the Poison Res. Look, basically, these are an upgrade if we get a Poison Res Ring Augment. Alright, let's see what this all does for our reputation. How close we are to Honored and actually being able to use proper augments. 100 rep, great. I mean, we get scrap for that, but sadly we don't get any rep for helping him out. It's a little unfortunate. Alright, get a little rep there. Alright, 87-23.
Is it fit? The Warden's defeat is a great victory for us. Nay.
So you must be high before we do what.
Quickly go to the Emissary. We'll side with Bismeal for Elite. We're probably not going to actually do Forgotten Gods, but we'll at least get a few points for siding with her.
Go to the center of the...
And a little bit of XP for doing the Eldritch Trials.
The emissary warned.
We don't have since we don't have the merit, we can't just port to certain rift gates and get shrines. I'm probably skipping pretty much all of the DLC or Forgotten Gods DLC content on Elite, but we'll see.
The emissary.
Obsidian Grasp.
I could hear... Ah, yes.
You've been quite my dear than what I've heard. This.
So you've yes, I have been.
Well, look.
We have a decent amount of iron bits now. I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that if this was a true fresh start, we'd also have to probably be buying a lot of blueprints. So I don't want to spend down to my last iron bits. I want to kind of maintain some semblance of realism. Drop a portal here, we'll come back to the shrine. Probably be wrapping up in about 10-15 minutes. We'll find someone to raid and keep the Grim Dawn going if that's possible. Looks like Braskin's on. And then we'll continue with this on Thursday. I'm actually sort of liking the fresh start. Diplomatic as always, Morndale. All right, have a good night, Susie. Thanks for hanging out, and congrats again on the low-car kills. Searing of Alacrity, Spectral Longsword. Lovely. Just what we need, right? Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8.
Well, you work here. We have to hit them hard and fast.
Honored with DC. Okay, so there are these things called writs, which give you a 50% increased reputation gain. They cost almost 90,000 iron, which is prohibitively expensive for a fresh start character. They really should make these cheaper. I mean, my take on these is that if you're grinding out rep and you have a surplus of iron, they're probably worth it. Otherwise, probably the only one I would take would be Black Legion, just because Black Legion is sort of a one-stop shop for augments. They have no ring augments, but you'll use those for resist anyway. But they have weapon augments and the key armor augments: Pierce, Poison, Aether, Chaos. Alright, in any event, Chill the Frostbite Spectral Longsword. We will put a Cold Stone on that and replace probably the Frostborn of Thunder, I'd guess. But, yeah. Steering of Alacrity, we're selling, of course.
Put it to good use. Got something you need stashed?
To be fair, Morndale, I actually need the elemental resistance from this. And I also don't have the Manticore Eyes to craft +1 Nightblade Relic. We looked at this, we did look at this earlier. Yeah, there's there is a reason. I am slowly putting points in this for damage and additional resists, but that's going to take a while. Yeah, it's the problem with a fresh start. Otherwise, I just put on the slaughter right away. All right. Okay, so we're going to do 2 Gazer Eyes. We're going to mostly fix our 8th res that way. Also going to get a little more poison res for now. Cold Stone. 28.7. $30.3. I mean, it's a slight damage upgrade, but could be worse. Yeah, I don't think any of these are being saved at the moment. Yeah, like our resists actually are somewhat respectable now. Like these are 3 below. These are, you know, in the 70s at least. Everything else is good for now. Anyway, how's our? Okay, we got 13 dynamite. And so Homestead will get honored some point soon, I would hope. If nothing else, killing bees should get us there, actually, now that I think of it. And we have dynamite, so we're just going to head north. We're not going to bother searching for the Rover Elder. Also get some royal jelly, hopefully. And the one thing we forgot to do was get the higher level Slith Ring, which we'll take care of when we get to the next Rift Gate. We'll just port back. Oh, you 100% know I'm going to put Serenity on at endgame. Okay, Vengeful Wraith. That's in our main stash inventory, so we have to craft one on our own.
Got any more scrap metal?
Vengeful Wraith, and we'll grab an imbued silver as well. Alright, what's our... Yeah, 25 Aether Crystals, so we're still good there. I don't know. I don't think a Vengeful Wraith is that expensive. In any event, cold damage in OA. Yeah, these nodes are so good. Homestead respected. We are so close.
Keep your weapon.
We actually had enough royal jelly. That's a mini miracle. All right, 9904. What did we get for killing this boss? Probably 75. Plus our other random beasts. Alright, anyone want to drop me an upgrade on my murderer's chest? Shrewd of Nature's Bounty. I mean, I think we're doing an Ascended Cask for the Maven Sphere protection stuff. But alright, maybe in Cronley's lair we'll get lucky. I think that's I'll kill Cronley, turn in those quests, and then probably leave off there. We may just drop back to normal to grab a couple of augments from Homestead. Did I kill Balthazar? No, I did not. Oh yeah, I think I know the guy you're talking about. Vindicators, okay. Got incendiary shoulder plates, which are not helpful for us. Yeah, I may go back and check that other mini boss after we fight Cronley if nothing else drops. So yeah, it's a fair point. Taking a little bit of a detour just to see if any elites are. Oh, that's a B elite. Oh. I forgot to confront Durrani. Whoops. wonder if we can actually just farm Durrani. Although he might just mostly drop the shoulders, I think. That's the main thing I've seen him drop. I do want an Ascended Cask if I can get one. Murderer's Epaulets, not what I need. Yeah, we've got a good amount going on today. We'll probably end up raiding into Braskin as well. You know, the nice thing about this quasi-fresh start is I don't actually have to keep making Grim tools for new builds at a time where I feel like I'm sometimes running out of ideas. This way we just slowly level, we get to 94, we farm what we can, and make the best build we can. It's a different challenge, it's definitely one I like. Alright, Crushing Cronley Signet of Blood. I do need the bits vilely, but it's challenging enough to take about half the drops. My inner laziness is so ingrained from leveling quickly that I can't make myself do it all the time. Sometimes I will take some items and such, but can only do so much. Yeah. When do you usually stream, Slick? I should I'll drop in at some point. Or is it kind of sporadic? Okay, talk to Barnabas.
Come, friend, right to business.
I think we can tell them we blew up the barricade. Oh, Morndale was saying that Slick streams sometimes, so I was just asking him when he's usually on, or if it's kind of sporadic when he gets to it, sort of situation. All right. Alright, we are slowly getting to Blade Spirits. We will probably get them in our next stream, though. In the meantime, Homestead. Wow, actually still not honored. Alright, I guess I'm going to go kill a few more bees, and then we will drop back into normal for a second to get the homestead weapon augments. So it'll give us pierce and stun res. Just good to have in general. Very sporadic, and I start streaming more. Gotcha. Okay. Honored with Homestead. Perfect. Right, and then there's a mob out here that we missed on our way in. So, there we go. Murderer's Cowl, so not the one we want, but... Alright, so start of next stream, I think we'll probably do a little more farming. Let's just go down to normal to grab an augment from Homestead. Oh, and we also have this. So we'll talk to Barnabas as well, get a little more rep.
See what's left of our wares. Put it to good use.
Alright, so our stun res is a little better, our pierce res is better as well. But nothing nothing crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do here... Oh, right. I also was supposed to... And I keep forgetting to get the the Slith Primal Ring. That'll boost resists a little bit more as well. Yeah, and I accidentally put a piece of armor on. I didn't mean to. Okay, so yeah, this is 18, 18, 18 as opposed to 12, 12, 12. So that's just straight up better. We'll get a corpse dust from our stash.
I'll keep you
Alright, so that is going to fix our elemental res issues for the time being, at least. I'll sell a few things here.
I'll give you a good price on what we've got left.
Maybe we keep Vindicators just as a good affix. Alright, and I guess, yeah, one last time we'll do a end of the stream Grim Tools. this is probably going to get changed fairly dramatically when we actually get our gear farming that we'll be doing, but yeah, Thursday we'll start around the same time. We'll do some more gear farming, try to upgrade our character a little bit, and then just progress onwards with the campaign. And I'm going to call it here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I will, like I said, be back Thursday. Let's go say hi to Braskin, and I'll see you guys in the next one.